What's up, guys? RevSauce9. Make sure to rate, like, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon for the latest and greatest that comes to my channel. Now, we're going to talk about AEW for a second. We're going to talk about Dynamite last night, and I'm a little late to the party. I've been late when it comes to talking wrestling and things like that. I just haven't been streaming as much. I haven't been doing the things. I've been busy with family life, health stuff, things like that. But I'm going to talk about what I saw around IWC and the YWC in the last week. I'm going to talk about my constituents. I don't give a damn. I find it absurdly disgusting how everybody's having dementia and how everybody and their mother, it just feels to me that everybody has forgotten 6 to 8 months ago when I was talking about this stuff, when other channels were talking about this stuff, including some of you that look up to this man, JD from New York, was bashing on CM Punk and covering this and saying AEW needs to let him go and this, that, and the third. He was hugging on Tony Khan's nutsack to the point to where he was at a media scrum that's why he hasn't been back to the media scrums, because he fucked up. Nobody realizes this, but I follow my constituents. I watch their channels religiously. And I know what they do and when they don't do. JD said it the most stupidest question you can ask in a media scrum, and he calls himself media. That's why he's not back. Tony Khan looked at him wrong and indifferent. That's why he's never been back. He won't tell you that, but I will, because I'm raw and uncut and unbiased and I'm a savage and I don't care. I do this for fun, for the people that want to be here. I'm not here to give you a narrative, clickbait you, tell you something that you don't already know. And yeah, I'm not for the faint of heart. I roast wrestling people that get their shit wrong half of the time. You should see my live streams on YouTube. You should see half of the shit that I say and half of the shit that comes out of my mouth. Like I said, I'm raw and uncut and unbiased, and I'll tell you like it is. I'm not gonna clickbait with some freaking troll title. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what you need to hear, or I'm gonna have a narrative and I'm gonna jump on CM Punk's dick because he said something recently, and we all have to jump on this man because what he says is the gospel when CM Punk is hokey pokey to begin with. And he was a walking hypocrite. So you're telling me through that interview you were about money, but when the shit hit the fan, you want it out, just like you want it out in WWE, and you can't talk about it because you're on an NDA, but you pretty much confirmed everything I talked about 6 to 8 months ago. So what conversation are we really fucking having? Then you got people like JD from New York that's sitting here going, oh, it's not like when I was a kid. And you got other channels regurgitating the same shit. And these are the same very people that have been exposed by the IWC, YWC multiple times. What's fucking new? AEW came out swinging. They had to last night. They had to react to CM Punk. I would have. Was it the best reaction? Do you send Adam Copeland out there? Probably not. Maybe a Danielson. Maybe you send out somebody else. But I got the point what Adam was trying to do. I got the point what AEW is trying to do. They're trying to move forward. And there's been a lot of knee-jerk reactions out there to what's going on with AEW. Is AEW perfect? Fuck no, they're not. I would honestly tell you guys they're an ECW / early days TNA type show with some storylines. And what AEW needs to start doing is just staying in number 2 place. They're not going to catch up to the WWE. WWE brings The Rock in and they do the final boss thing. The sky's the limits for WWE. WWE is the NFL at this point. And I think AEW should just concede at this point and just be a solid number 2 viable platform for wrestlers. That's all I want them to be. Are they dying? No. I think it's silly that people are saying, oh, they're dying, their views, people are not going to their shows. They actually had a really good turnout for this week's show in the last few weeks. They're actually getting more people into an arena than any other promotion out there. So they can say and claim they're doing well. They're losing money up front, and that's most companies. Most companies are going to lose money up front, okay? That's just how that's going to be for the first, 10 to 20 years. WWE didn't really start making money until Vince McMahon turned it around. We had the Attitude Era, and they started publicly trading things, and they became a public traded company. They were losing hand over fist. Nobody talks about that, but they were losing hand over fist for a while there. And during the 90s, they lost a lot of money. And Vince McMahon had to change the game and revolutionized wrestling to what we know, the Attitude Era and then the Ruthless Aggression Era, and then they made multi-millions, and then, they became publicly traded. AEW is not publicly traded, so they're relying on their own resources. They don't have fancy sponsors. They don't have like a Mattel, Bud Light, or Coors Light, or whatever. They don't have those things. They're not publicly traded. They don't have a board they have to answer to. So Tony Khan calls the shots. Yes, Tony Khan, I agree with a lot of people out there that Tony Khan is inexperienced. I think Tony Khan should have sat behind like a Scott D'Amore or behind somebody and learned the ways of wrestling and how to conduct himself. He tries to be too much of a wrestling friend than an owner. And I think Tony Khan needs to hire somebody that handles the wrestlers. I think that's what he needs to do. He needs to be more of the booker and just the owner, and he needs to hire somebody like next to him that handles the wrestlers, that does everything that Tony Khan wants done. That's what I think AEW should do at this point. They won't, but they should. It should be Tony Khan, the owner, and it should be the person behind Tony Khan that delegates the wrestlers. I think they should bring in somebody they can work within and fix it. And I've always stated that about AEW. AEW did what they needed to do last night. Quite frankly, they had to. They had Adam Copeland come in. They had mic issues to the very beginning. It's typical AEW, but like I said before, he came out, he talked about moving forward, and I think that's what they need to do. Was it the best promo in the world? No, it was decent. Like I said, this show was great, but it wasn't the best show in the world. They did what they needed to do. Danielson and Archer, I'm okay with that. This Dynamite, they've been doing very good Dynamites and decent Dynamites. Will Ospreay, man, can we say enough about Will Ospreay, man? Will Ospreay and Powerhouse Hobbs gave you a pay-per-view match with the lead-off Dynamite, so I don't know what people are complaining about. Will Hobbs is improving. Hook is improving. They're building around their stars that they have. They're pillars. Once you bring back an MJF, and they were chanting MJF last night, bring back an MJF, you fill it in with Will Ospreay and Okada, you're going to have some good shit. AEW right now has had a lot of issues, and they need to fix things. And they're gonna renew probably with Warner Discovery. I believe that, or they will get a streaming deal probably from Amazon or one of them eventually. AEW, I'm not worried about. They're not going anywhere. They got plenty of capital, plenty of investments. I don't think Tony Khan and his father are gonna let this go. Like I said before, I think AEW is in a good spot. Yes, they're losing money. Yes. But I believe they're in a good spot. And I think with this new deal coming in play, that I think in the fall, they'll renegotiate with either Warner Discovery or one of them, and they'll get a hell of a good deal, I think, for what they are. I think a lot of you just look at numbers, and I think a lot of you are not top brass, and I'm not top brass, and we try to put our analyst hats on, and we all try to guesstimate and sell bullshit, but we're not in the boardrooms. We're not sitting and knowing what these people are saying. Like, for instance, Dave Zaslav has come out and said he's happy with what they got with AEW. They're pleased. Ring of Honor will find a place. I mean, they had a few deals that Tony Khan has snuffed at for weekly television live. At the end of the day, the way I see things, AEW is going to be just fine, but I think AEW needs to stick in number 2 lane. They need to be the alternative, or stop calling themselves the alternative and just be a good, solid wrestling promotion. That's it. They don't need to do very much more than that, honestly. Adam Copeland coming out and doing what he did was great. Hook and Lionheart, Chris Jericho, I like that. The women stuff, look, people are bitching, moaning, and groaning that the women are not getting matches, but they're getting matches, and they're getting long matches. And it's going to be Thunder Rosa and Timeless Toni Storm. People wanted other wrestlers to be pushed up in the women's division. You're getting it here. Mariah May is getting so much time, it's not even funny to wrestle every week. And they're in a prominent storyline. and Billy Gunn and the Ass Boys. Nobody's talking about the Gun Club or the Gun Club or Bullet Club Gold because you guys don't watch. You guys don't watch. And I had somebody call me a mark. You don't follow the storylines. Bitch, you don't follow the storylines. You watch one show per week and that's Dynamite. That's most people. And then you want to sit and talk about ratings. Well, here's the thing about that. If you don't watch the shows and you don't follow the fucking storylines, to me, your opinion is null and void. I really get pissed when people tell me, oh, well, Dynamite's 3, but there was actual storylines. Well, I don't watch. Well, then you don't have an opinion. Shut the fuck up. You're part of the problem. Eat shit. Same with these people that don't watch Collision. There's storylines on each show, but you don't follow it. Malachi Black, Adam Copeland happening on Collision, but you don't follow that storyline, but you bitch about Malachi Black. Do you know how many people on Twitter bitch about this man not being in prominent storylines when he is in a prominent storyline? Do you know how many people sit and bitch about Saraya when Saraya's got storylines on fucking Dynamite, or sorry, Dynamite / Collision / Rampage and Ring of Honor? Eddie Kingston, same thing. But you motherfuckers are all sitting here saying these are people that are misutilized and mistreated, but you don't watch the shows. But but then I get called, I'm just a smart mark. I'll take that because I'm the one that watches the show. I'm the one that knows what's going on. I'm the one that keeps it raw and uncut and unbiased every week for you folks. I was my same very constituents out there are now quoting the same shit I said about the Cody and Roman and Seth and Rock shit. Where's this beatdowns been in the last few weeks? It should have been done earlier. It should be Cody and The Rock night 1, not a tag team match. Where was Seth throughout all this being his shield? Finally, he's taking a beating? Finally? Meanwhile, your world heavyweight title's being pushed to the fucking side? Where was that storyline this week? Non-existent, nobody cares. Oh, but I'm the smart mark, right? I'm the same asshole. Give me a break. I find it very, very fascinating this week how people just have no brain cells, dementia, alopecia, and just all this fucking shit and concussions. I don't understand people in the IWC, YWC. You got people fucking gargling a mic like they're fucking choking on a dick, screaming out their ass, screaming, saying this is what I was when I was a kid. No one gives a shit, dude. You're the same very person, JD, that called everybody a bedroom streamer and you think everybody's beneath you. Trust me, I watch all wrestling shows. Come on. I hear from some of you that think you're God's gift to podcasting. You're God's gift to whatever. But you spin things for your own narrative. You spin things so your community can be massively manipulated into believing that you're the gospel when you're not the gospel. You don't cite your sources. You never, ever, ever, ever admit when you're wrong. You say you don't go on Twitter. You put a front on saying you're never on Twitter. These people, but they go on Twitter and they bitch, moan, and groan, and then they make up stories, and then it's like, it's ridiculous. These are the same very people, trust me, 6 to 8 months ago, that were sitting here bashing on CM Punk, saying how bad CM Punk was for the environment, how bad he should be fired, fuck him, this, that, and the third. But here we are in 2024, and now you're on his dick. Now you're championing for the guy. When I was the guy that said if CM Punk did wrong, he should go. And I didn't say it in evil taste. I'm a fan of CM Punk. I'll take the good, the bad, and the ugly with this man. Same with any wrestler that has fucking strikes against them. I just find it funny how a lot of you this week, like, just unreal. The unprofessionalism, the clickbaiting, the fucking, these titles, and then sitting and quoting bad information. Guys, bad information, like, for real, for real. I just don't understand it. So far, WWE's done a good job, and I will never compare WWE to AEW again. There's a reason. There's a reason why AEW is number 2. The WWE is the NFL, and AEW is kind of like college football. More people like college football than the NFL because of certain things. That's how it's always been so far. AEW does certain things that WWE don't, and vice versa. WWE does better in the entertainment side where and giving you wrestling, where AEW gives you these 5-star wrestling matches, and it is what it is. I don't need AEW to be like WWE. I agree with everybody around me and around the IWC, YWC, and the dirt sheets and everything. We're not asking for AEW to, but Tony Khan, if you're listening, we're not asking you to be the next coming of WWE. I don't want you to be the next coming of WWE. I don't need you to be a carbon copy. What I need you to be is make your titles prestigious, have a good tag team division, have a good women's division, and have a good All-Atlantic division, and treat your titles prestigiously. Maybe feature a Ring of Honor here and there. Great. I don't want to see 6-man tags no more. I don't want to see those titles being shown Ring of Honor. I'm sick and tired. Jay White should be on Ring of Honor television. They should drop these belts at this point. Jay White should be featured in the main event scene at this point. But I get why you're leaving him down the card. I get it, Tony Khan. I get it. The reason you're doing it is because you have pigeonholed yourself. You've brought in too much talent, and that's why you're firing talent. Oh, yeah, this week I'm going to hear, well, what about those people that were fired? Those are people that weren't utilized to begin with. Who gives a shit? Dasha Fuentes? Did you really give a shit? She wasn't really on television. Slim J and Marco Boudreaux, did you really give a shit? I wouldn't bat an eye if they got rid of Keith Lee. Keith Lee has been hurt with injuries, illnesses. He's sitting there taking money from AEW. He should go back to WWE or retire. I love Keith Lee, but all he's been is injury prone, illnesses. Same with Rusev. Rusev has been the same, or Miro, sorry. Miro has been the same. Cut that guy. He's been a waste of space. You have Scorpio Sky on your fucking roster and you haven't done anything with him. Cut him. He'd be better off in TNA anyway. AEW talks about signing all these talents. People have to get released to sign other talents, guys. That's the way of wrestling. WWE does it all the time. So does TNA. Look at TNA cutting people and getting rid of people for budget cuts and now signing people to 2-year contracts because they realize they're going to lose a lot of people if they don't sign people to contracts. Keep that in fucking mind. At the end of the day, guys, I thought Dynamite was good. I thought Monet and Willow Nightingale stuff was great. No Julia here. I think we're going to see Julia either on Rampage or we're going to see her on Collision this week with Sky Blue. I like the fact they're setting up the Shane Taylor promotions. They're kind of giving you guys little tastes of Ring of Honor within Dynamite and Collision. But again, I watch the shows. Again, I haven't really been watching as much as I want to because I've been busy with personal life and family stuff, but I watch the highlights at least to know what's going on with my shows. Swerve Strickland getting his ass beat by Chain. That was great. They're playing off of what WWE's doing. Did you want AEW to concede? No, they have to come out swinging for ratings. So they came out and Swerve was bleeding. What did you want more from that? Swerve was going to get teed up by Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's a killer. What did you want? What more did you want from that situation? People are like, oh, they're just copying WWE. Like, what? I don't see The Rock bare-knuckling fucking and beating the shit out of Cody and blood being dripped. I don't see that shit. I don't see Cody signing a contract in blood. Like, seriously, WWE's more mature content lately, but the blood is kind of fizzled. They just did that for a rare occasion for The Rock. And The Rock would like WWE to go more TV 14. That's not going to happen because they have too many sponsors and things like that. You would lose Make-A-Wish. You would lose a lot of the stuff that brings WWE a lot of money if they decide to go TV 14. That's why they haven't pulled the trigger. That's why Triple H is having a stroke over it. That's why you see in interviews Triple H saying we can make TV PG into TV 14 without, and it's like, no, your show is asking for it. You should just go to it. Anyway, again, the contract signing I thought was good. If I'm missing things, then so be it. I know the Motor Machine is coming, or whatever. The Motor Machine Guns are coming to AEW eventually. I know Trent Beretta turned on Orange Cassidy, which was great. Trent Beretta needed to do this. How much were you going to have more of Trent Beretta being in this hokey pokey tag team when he was a singles competitor in New Japan / Ring of Honor? How much more could you have him be with the best friends? They've been with each other for too long. They've been stirring for too long. And his partner, that's part of the best friends that's hurt, is always hurt. I think it's time for Trent Beretta to go up the card. I think Trent Beretta being a heel is best for business. I think you start it at Dynasty with him and Orange Cassidy. You have him go over in a cheating fashion. You have Trent Beretta go all the way up to the international title. Or you have him go up to maybe a Ring of Honor television title. Maybe you do something with him. Get him up on the cards. Get him up there. You got to start building your talents the originals, or release these people. You know what I mean? Release these people. Like, you know what I mean? You can't have Chuck D and Trent Beretta here. How much more could you go with that? Anyway, this is purely my opinion today. I just, I know I'm late to the review station. I know I'm late to things. But, at the end of the day, I've been watching these shows and I've been enjoying them. I'm not saying they're the greatest shows on earth, but I've been really royally loving what WWE is doing. And I'm really loving what AEW is doing. I like when wrestling's good, we're good in the world. And honestly, I'm just going to say, hey, man, AEW did a B- show. I would say a 7.0. It's not the best. It gets the job done for me. I'm happy with it. And at the end of the day, WWE's been putting on B- shows. That's all I asked for. TNA's been putting on B- shows too. And I'm happy about it. At the end of the day, my name is RevSauce9. I'll see you guys in the next one. And yes, I'm really sick and tired of this community IWC, YWC shit. Like, guys, just because it comes from the horse's mouth doesn't make it like it's some brand new shit. Like, guys, stop having dementia. Stop having fucking living in the Twilight Zone. My God. Grow up. And then some of you sitting here screaming and pounding on your chest. Oh, well, when I was a kid. No one cares, dude. You're the same very person that called everybody a bedroom streamer. People are beneath you. And then meanwhile, you're doing tailgates and whatnot at a fucking Saturday and a Sunday. And you're going to have tons of people and you're talking all this cool shit. Meanwhile, massively manipulating people and bullshitting. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.